You can see the color coming right out.
The color's coming right out. Massive color difference.
Wow.
Took out just about all the scratches, all the percentage of paint correction is where it gets super subjective, but I would call that close to 100, and we did it with 2 bars left on it. You know, so if you had a corded one too, I'm not trying to make excuses at all, because I'm satisfied with this.
That's a one step.
That's a one step, one pad, and now it's ready to ceramic coat. All right, what's up everyone? Welcome back. In the last video, we compared, as we're kind of working our way up to different levels of compound and trying to figure out which one will be dialed in perfectly for the Jimbo's brand, and Tom demoed. We've done everything now from the original level 1, then we went to level 4. Today is a new level 2 sample, and we're going to be pairing it with the Eurofiber pad in one example, which is my favorite way to do a one-step. I also brought in my favorite current one-step, which is 3D1, which I want to ask Tom about a little bit, since he had talked with Tunch, and Tunch picked his brain, I guess. So we're going to do, in this video, going to bring Tom in, we're going to do a rotary wool with a foam finish on this side. We're going to leave the center as kind of a control section before kind of what the car currently looks like. And then on this side, I'm going to do a DA only with the Eurofiber and what Tom thinks is the final formula, which would be level 2. So Tom, as we bring you back in, thanks again for doing this. Same day for us, different day for you guys. So how's that? Before we get into level 2 and what you did differently for that sample, this is my favorite. So I know you don't maybe have much experience with it, but as a formulator, you could tell a lot by simply smelling the product, looking at the product. So what are your initial thoughts of what they're doing?
And
we're not trying to bash
the reason,
at all.
the reason why I smell any product is I'm trying to smell the hydrocarbon that's in there.
Okay.
If I smell a hydrocarbon, then I know that it's going to possibly stick on the surface.
What is a hydrocarbon?
Any solvents.
Okay, solvents.
Yeah, a solvent that, like lacquer thinner.
And similar to abrasives or aluminum oxide, are there cheap solvents and then expensive solvents? And would that change the product chemistry or what it's doing? Yes,
it would. And there's no way for me to tell what this has in it.
Okay.
And I don't know how this product works, but I know we have no smell.
Okay.
I mean, zero. And this has a smell.
Could they be masking a smell too?
Yeah, it's definitely
because it smells different when you're using it.
It's got something sweet in there, and then if you pump it, you can smell it definitely has an exposed solvent in there.
Is that bad?
It would be for me.
Why would it not be for you?
It would be for me because
it would be bad for you.
Yeah, it would be for me to use, because I would want to make it better without having any smells.
And better, how's it going to be better? Just from a user experience, or?
User experience is important, but definitely not what I was trying to create.
Okay.
I was trying to create a better product for the paint. That was first.
Okay.
Now, when we solved that issue, it became a better product for my environment.
Okay.
Smelling like. So, I know that if I were to use a product that had this smell to it, then I'm going to smell like that. And I know I can tell you so many stories. I come home and my wife's like, "What have you been doing all day?" And
it's like my first job was
compound monster.
My first job was at a restaurant, a fish restaurant. Or actually, my first job was In-N-Out, and I came home smelling like burgers. And then I went to work at a fish restaurant, and then I came home smelling like fish.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of the same idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
Also, there was a client that reached out for private labeling and compounds, and one of their favorite compounds was P&S's Rehab. I don't have much experience with it.
Never used it.
When they told me about it, they said everything's great about it. They love everything about it. They didn't mention, I think they said it smelled like something nice. I don't know. But they said if you leave it on the surface after you buff for any longer than a minute, it's almost impossible to remove. So what does that tell you as we kind of
that says the solvent is sticking to the surface. It's called plasticizing.
Okay.
It's exactly what happens to concrete.
And why is that bad? Or is it bad?
Because it's just another step that I have to clean up. As a detailer, I'm getting paid to buff a car. And if I have to then clean up my own mess, then I'm not necessarily getting paid for that. Yeah. You know, so if, I mean, our products all clean up easy. They're made to work in the sun. It doesn't matter how hot the surface is. We make a full line of marine products, and when you're doing a big 200-foot yacht that's dry docked, one group of guys are in direct sun buffing that whole boat. So our products have to work on both sides of that boat.
And I've never tried PNS, so they could be lying that they have no reason to lie, but they could be lying that it's hard to remove. But just imagine if it's not hard, if it is hard to remove, and then you try to use that indirect sun. Oh yeah, that's a nightmare, right? Because now I start thinking mobile detailers, right? Mobile detailers that want to take advantage of the ceramic coating craze. They want to do a one-step polish to increase their detail dollar amount. They're working in the elements, right? Even if you have an easy up, something's always in the sun. So it's just an added benefit. Tell us about level 2 and where that's different from level 1 and level 4 or XX.
So level 2 is twice the amount of cutter that level 1 was. I was surprised level 1 even worked. You know, and it worked good.
Right.
It did.
It worked phenomenal.
It worked good.
And I love level 1. I think there's definitely a place for level 1. I just wanted to see, could we make it cut a little faster? And then that's what we saw with XX or level 4, same thing, is it cut really fast. So I'm like, whoa, that's really fast. Okay, maybe, but it was dusting for me a little bit, okay? So this should be no dust, cut really good, and should hopefully...
I think we should be able to, it shouldn't be any dust at all. Now, am I going to give you the cut you want? I hope so.
And that's why we're going to try it with the Rotary, so I'll leave you to the Rotary. But that's why I brought the Eurofiber pad too, because 3D1 on the Eurofiber doesn't work 100% of the time, but I would say 95% of the time it's working for me. I will notice a couple things with the 3D1, and go ahead, Tom, you could knock yourself out. And we removed the purple color. I got some feedback that they're like, leave the color out. I'm like, okay, I'll leave the color out. And with no smell. To celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the Jimbo's Detailing product line, I'm giving everything away. So you get this Super Soaper, all dressed up, tough as shell, complete cabin cleaner, Pure Magic cleaner, the Gloss Boss, towels, everything completely for free. It's free to enter, it's free to win, and there's multiple ways that you can get tons and tons of entries. So if you go to jimbosdetailing.com/giveaway, I'll have all the information there. And again, thank you for all the support over the past year. None of this would be available without you. And so to give back, I'm giving everything away. Kind of is in line.
Wow, instantly comes up. Wow. So
we're getting just the typical Rotary
fuzz. But there's no dust coming off.
There's no dust, and
it's, you know what? It's really cutting. Wow.
So it's always funny to me when it surprises you. And that's what
I mean.
So what is surprising you about it?
We're getting color off,
so it's telling us it's single stage. So if you
look at the finish is even better than
if you are
XX
buffing
with the wool pad.
Better than XX.
Oh, the wool pad. That's a wool pad finish.
And I'm blind over here to the light. So in the light, are you seeing the Rotary?
Oh, it looks like a pinhead. The lights are pinheaded.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Oh, there's no big scatter on there.
Interesting.
So we have a beautiful, beautiful finish. From wool.
The pinhead, that was actually a really good way to say it. That pinhead is kind of what you're looking for, because the Rotary wool, or the wool on the Rotary, will leave that kind of buffer trail.
Yeah,
and you're not seeing that at all?
A lot of scatter on the other side.
And then a DA with a finishing foam pad.
And the level 2.
And you wiped it off. You wiped off the residue from the Rotary, but that was just so we could kind of see what the finish was, because with XX or level 1, you actually don't need to wipe off the residue, and you could leave the residue on, and it's not going to get harder to remove.
Yeah, there's no cross-contamination, so wow, that's beautiful.
That's one thing when I was talking to those guys about the PNS rehab, when they talked about the wipe-off, and you want to hand me the DA and I'll switch up, put on the Eurofiber pad. And do you have?
Do you want me to pull the tape? No, not yet.
we could wait and kind of do the big reveal at the end.
Okay.
That was the one thing I thought about with the PNS rehab or any one step that's hard to remove or hard for the wipe off is that, you know, time is money.
Yeah.
So if you can do, if you could just buff, right? If you're doing a heavy correction.
Yeah.
But I want this product to work for a heavy correction.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're doing a heavy correction, I want you to be able to bust through the whole car, fast arm speed, with a rotary with wool to do the heavy cutting. And I don't want you to have to remove and wipe off anything.
Yeah.
And then come back with your DA finishing step. But ideally, and how I use one steps or 3D1 is just like this.
Yeah.
A Eurofiber pad. This is how I use it. So
Great.
I'm interested to see. So I'm also getting no sling.
No,
on the
staying right in there.
You know?
Yeah, looks good.
I should have brought my corded machine because I'm not usually not a super fan of this Flex DA, but it's cutting right through it.
You can see the color coming right
The
out.
color's
too.
coming right out. There's some deeper ones in there, I think. Color is insane.
Yeah, as an oxidation remover, it looks like it's working really well.
Oh, and we're on 2 bars.
Oh, you wanted different battery?
Wait, how much you got on that one?
I got
Well, let's
4.
just wipe it and see where we're at. But I felt like it wasn't. No, that actually took care of it. So I just wanted to show. Now we could remove the tape, Tom.
Okay.
But that got it. That got it just about.
Wow. Yeah, we got a nice color difference.
Huge color difference.
Oh, yeah.
So massive color difference.
Wow.
Took out just about all the scratches, all the percentage of paint correction is where it gets super subjective, but I would call that close to 100, and we did it with 2 bars left on it. You know, so if you had a corded one too, I'm not trying to make excuses at all because I'm satisfied with this. And this is also...
That's a 1-step.
That's a 1-step,
Wow.
1 pad, and now it's ready to ceramic coat.
Yeah, exactly.
So you could ceramic coat that. Brian, even if you wanted to, like, if you see the difference from here to here, I don't know if you could pick that up, but...
And no dust.
No dust. No sling even.
No
That's
sling.
one thing that's, like, I usually will get that with 3D1, especially as I get lower on the pad as well, or lower in the bottle as well, as I get way more sling. So we have rotary wool with a foam finish. This is what we started with. Let me get rid of this kind of... That's what we started with in the middle. And then all the way over towards that passenger door is just a 1 pad, 1 liquid.
That looks good.
On a severely oxidized car. Wow. So yeah, if you look like right here in the light, this is what we started with before. And if you come down to just the 1 step in the light, that's amazing. That's amazing. I don't think you could ask for any more than that.
It did work good.
So are you surprised that it worked this good?
I am.
Okay.
I am to, you know, address the the base formula. And if I hadn't have met you, Jimbo, I never would have gone back and re-looked at our base formula to go after this, you know, to help you with the detailing.
So whether it's
market.
level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, they all start with kind of the base
Yeah, they're
formula.
all the same base formula.
Okay, and
every
then move
one
up
of them.
from there. Okay.
And that emulsion that we talk about, you know,
Yes.
all the time,
Yes.
is why it stays together, why it doesn't separate.
That is incredible. That is, no one is able to do this. And when I sent you that video yesterday of those people being so excited about this heavy cut compound and then it marring the surface and then being so excited, I knew we were onto something.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this isn't even in a discussion. People aren't even thinking this way, as you had said in a previous video, right? So I think this, I'm going to play with this more at my shop. I think this is going to be the final formula.
Okay,
And I don't
great.
think I'm going to do any color. I don't think I'm going to do any scent.
Okay.
I love that it's scentless. And my other products, scents, are always tricky because they're so subjective. Like some people love, strawberry, and some people are allergic to strawberry, right? So I just I try to leave scents at a minimum. I don't even think I like color because why, and one thing I did want to mention, all your products are water soluble.
Oh yeah.
So
totally.
this is dilutable. This could be sprayable as well. Is
Absolutely.
this thixotropic?
All of the product, everything we make is thixotropic.
Okay, so
even like a quick detailer.
Okay.
They're thixotropic.
Okay. So if I wanted to make this, or someone's preference was sprayable polish, they would be able to just put a sprayer in there, make it sprayable. If they needed a little runnier for that, they could just add a little water, play chemists themselves. So now that I think we're close, I'm going to play with it. The next video in this series is I want to go back to the body shop and I want to start playing with other products on the buffing robot.
All right,
okay,
great.
Maybe we'll call it the buffing robot if you got any tips on names for the buffing robot. But I want to put 3D1 on it, and I could do it, and maybe we will show 3D1 compared to level 2. But I think if we use the robot, that leaves it because I could add more pressure, I could add less pressure. I could be too subjective with my own formula, but if we use the robot,
it'll really tell you.
It'll really tell us, and we can kind of make sure that we are. I want to be the best of the best of the best.
Yeah, cool.
Right?
I want to help you.
So I appreciate that. Tom has his brand, csishine.com. If you want to purchase compounds right now, this obviously is still in development, so this isn't available, but I will make sure. This is our third video I think we've done on developing the compound, so I'll make sure to link all those videos, including the initial podcast with Tom, in the description below. But I really want to hear your guys' feedback. I want to include the community in on this and get your kind of feedback of what you think for this. Are we onto something, or are we high on our own supply? Who knows? Maybe we're high on compound dust. Who knows, right? But Tom, thanks again for coming in.
Jimbo, thank you,
and I'm super, super excited for this. So thanks, everyone.